In order to respond effectively, the vital force needs to be available. And there are situations in which it isn't. Mostly this is due to suppression. There are different types of suppression. There's the kind of suppression that results from drugging. And these drugs could just be recreational drugs of one sort or another. They act suppressively either because they are depressants of vitality, and especially of the nervous system, or just simply because they've been used habitually and they leave us reacting in a particular way repeatedly again and again daily, and we just get into the habit of responding in one way rather than another, and so homeostasis is suppressed because it's held in one position because of the drug influence. Another kind of suppression, which is probably what comes to our minds immediately when we hear the word, it is due to a family member or society. Society suppresses many of our basic instincts. Actually, the word more accurately would be repression, but they're kind of used interchangeably. Repression is a word that arose, I think, from Freud, and wasn't around and available either as a word or for Hahnemann. So, but the word suppression, of course, would have been there in the language. So, they are the two main forms of suppression. Both disallow the vital force its normal range of activity. This is what suppression is, and clearly, if somebody is under great suppression, it will affect their health markedly. And our task as a healer, whether we're a homeopathic healer or any other kind of healer, is to advise so that by whatever means the person can reduce that load. So it could be terribly obvious, stop drinking all that coffee, because it's constantly putting you in a state which is disallowing your normal range of vital response. And although you say, but it's not suppressing, it's actually making me come alive, of course it isn't. Because if you don't take it, you'll fall. Actually, when people give up coffee, they get quite ill for a while. It's just a detox phenomenon that lasts from anywhere between 4 days and 2 weeks. And that's just dealing with something tiny like coffee. Just imagine what the habitual use of Valium has. And I do believe that it's about a third of us who have taken or are taking Valium. So it's a pretty shocking statistic. Good only for the drug manufacturing companies because they make piles of money out of the stuff. Not good for us who take it. So we would remove those suppressing factors in order for healing to eventuate. And if suppression was societal, we might have a bit more of a problem. And so this is where there's a crossover between just suppression coming from the outside and chronic prescribing. Because if in chronic prescribing we would look at the individual's response to the situation which causes the suppression and give them the key to their vitality to unlock it because it's been held, so that they can break out of that suppression. So if it's a relationship where one is being suppressed by the other, or perceives that this is what's happening for them, then of course the dynamic in that relationship will change because of the homeopathic remedy. To cite a remedy that's actually quite in this picture, we could look at Staphylococcus aureus. And Staphylococcus aureus had a little label attached to it, which I feel a little frightened to say, but I will. It has been labelled the marriage wrecker. So you have been warned.